I tried to make it when I was driving, but that's not a good idea, so I was like, let me just wait till I get home. Sorry, I need to go pick up my kids, but I want to make this video real quick because it's hard for me to talk when they're around. If you're a mom, you know the struggle. Something's in my eye, and it looks like I've been crying, but I haven't. So I just wanted to talk about my miscarriage because I'm 99% sure that's what I had. So I just got back from the OBGYN, and I didn't see my doctor. She couldn't see me, but I did get my blood drawn to make sure, well, they said to make sure my numbers were going up, but I'm like sure I had a miscarriage. So I personally am making sure my numbers are going down, and they're going to 0. I'm not, I guess, holding out any more hope, I guess you would say, because I did take that pregnancy test when I stayed in Kansas, and it was negative. So I went from having a positive to a negative, so that's why I'm sure I had a miscarriage. That's what that was. But that's just what the lady said to me on the phone. They wanted to draw my blood, and then make me come back Wednesday and draw it again to make sure my numbers are going up. But I'm like, lady, I'm pretty sure it's a miscarriage. Like, that's what I had. But that's just what she said on the phone. So I guess depending on what they get back from my results from today, whether I'll go back Wednesday or not, for me, I just want to make sure my numbers are going down to 0 and something's not wrong with me. Making sure, everything is out and I'm good to go for next month. So that's what's an update with that. But I want to talk about my miscarriage in general, because I wasn't for sure for the longest time, or I say longest time because it felt like forever, if that's what it was. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I'm thankful for them for reaching out to me, but I wanted to just share my experience, because from what I've heard from other people that have had miscarriages, excuse me, I'm sorry, I had a shake earlier, mine's different, I guess you would say. I know everyone is different. I know your body handles things differently, but almost everyone I've talked to said that their miscarriages were painful, like super painful, worst pain they've ever been through, and I don't know if they're saying emotionally or physically. Emotionally, this has been harder on me than physically. My miscarriage was not at all even as close to being as painful as my period is. I would say my periods are pretty bad. If you don't want to hear about blood and periods, just exit off this video, because that's all I'm going to be talking about pretty much. My periods are very heavy, and they have been ever since I gave birth to both of my girls. I wear a tampon and a pad because I don't want to leak on my pants. That's how heavy the bleeding is, especially for the first 2 days. And then also the first 2 days, I'm cramping literally so bad, and my cramps radiate from my stomach down to my butt. They are not, I'm not sugarcoating this at all. I'm not exaggerating. You can ask my husband. I'm the whiniest person when I start my period because I'm in so much pain. I take Midol, If I'm not working, I literally sit on my couch and do nothing because I'm in that much pain. Like, it just hurts to move. And I just want to curl up in a ball, basically. It's bad, especially the first 2 days. And then the pain kind of tapers off, and so does the bleeding, and then I'll stop, and then I'll start again, all that jazz. So my miscarriage, it started, I started bleeding on the 30th. We were traveling to Colorado. We had stopped at a gas station, and I was like, oh, I better go pee, just because I don't know when we're stopping again, and we might not be stopping until the Springs, which was like 2 hours. Like, we still had to drive 2 hours. So I went to the bathroom and I sat down, and it was like a pop. That's what it was. I don't know how else to describe it. That's what it felt like. Like, something popped inside of my vagina. Like when you're pregnant, you know, like your water breaks, that's kind of how it was, like a pop. And I was like, ooh, like, cause it kind of hurt. I was like, what was that? And then I wiped, and that's when there was blood, and it was pink. It wasn't red at that point. And so I came out, and I was like, I'm bleeding. But then I was like freaking out, but I was trying not to freak out because I did bleed with McKenna. I didn't bleed with Aubrey at all. Honestly, I wouldn't have even known I was pregnant with Aubrey unless I had missed my period. That's the only telltale sign I had with her. I didn't have any symptoms at all with her at all. So I got, you know, we were traveling, so there's not much I could do. I just had to hope I stopped bleeding, but I was kind of freaking out because I've never had a miscarriage. I didn't know what to expect, and I was reading stuff online, and from what I read and from what people have told me after this happened, you know, after I posted and people told me, it's very painful. And so I was kind of having really bad anxiety, like, oh my god, we're traveling, I'm literally having a miscarriage in the car, like, am I gonna be like doubled over in pain? Like, can I take anything for pain? So I tried to call my OBGYN. They were on holiday break, so then I called my doctor, my primary care provider, and they're like, she's gonna have to call you back. So she did call me back. She told me miscarriages are more common than people like to think, and she told me the percentage of numbers of pregnancies that end in a miscarriage, and I think she's just trying to make me feel better because that's how she is. And then I was like, you know, I've never experienced this. Do I need to go to the ER when I get to the Springs? Do I need to go to urgent care? Like, I'm literally out of state. I'm traveling. Like, this is the worst time I feel like this could happen to me. Not that it was an inconvenience, but at the same time, I'm traveling. I'm out of state. It's Christmas. You know, just all those things. And I was like overwhelmed, and she's like, no, you don't need to go unless you're filling a pad more than an hour, you're lightheaded, or you're dizzy, or you feel like you can't breathe. I'm going in the mountains, lady. Like, up there, it feels like you can't breathe because you're not used to being so high up. Anyways, I was like, okay, well, that's good. I feel better. At least I don't have to go to the ER or the urgent care. So I bled for like 3 days. It was like stop and go, and then I stopped bleeding, and then I started bleeding on the night home from Colorado. We were staying in Kansas, so I started bleeding a little bit that night. It wasn't very much at all, and then I stopped, and then I haven't bled since. And that's the night I took that pregnancy test, and it was negative. So that's when I kind of was like, okay, like, that was a miscarriage. I was pretty much just, you know, kind of worrying about it. Like, just to be blunt about it, like, I was like, I need to know if this is a miscarriage or not, so that's why I took that pregnancy test. My cramps, like I said, I only cramped for like 2 hours, and that was like on the way to the Springs. Like, once we got to the Springs, I wasn't cramping anymore, and the cramps were very dull, like nothing compared to my period, and they were like at the front of my stomach rather than my period cramps are like more down low and they radiate in my butt. So I just wanted to share my experience and my miscarriage, because I've had a lot of different people tell me different things and say that was the worst thing they had to go through, which I'm not saying it's not the worst thing I've had to go through, because it's not. I've been through worse, my C-sections, my gallbladder surgery, like painful stuff, and I'm not saying I'm not bothered by it, because I'm very sad and I'm confused. I don't like to cry in front of people about it, and I'm not going to cry on camera about it just because you guys don't need to see me cry. But I don't know, I just wanted to share my experience because I've never been through this before, and someone else that has never been through this before could watch my video and see my experience. And I know some people have bled and had like a period and then continued to carry their baby, but for me, I'm just chalking it up as it wasn't a viable pregnancy, and that's why I had a miscarriage. And it sucks because, like I said, we tried for 18 months to get pregnant, and we finally got pregnant, and it ended so fast. And I think maybe that's why my miscarriage wasn't as bad as some other people's, because I was only 5 weeks on some days. Like, if I would have been like 10 weeks or 16, like, maybe it would have been worse on my body. And that's just how I am. I always try to find the positive in stuff when something traumatizing happens to me. Usually it doesn't even have to be traumatizing. I'm just the type of person that I try to find the positive in something. Especially if it stresses me out or if it gives me anxiety, I'm like, well, at least this, you know what I mean? So everyone copes differently. And I know it's something that I can get through. It's not something that I'll ever forget, and I always want to remember this baby, even though we didn't get to cherish it that long. But it's something that I'll always remember. And I'm glad we told people, because we were gonna wait until we got to Colorado. And I was gonna wait to even tell Cameron until we got to Colorado, but I was like, no, like, I literally cannot keep that secret. Like, literally, we've been trying for so long. Like, I have to tell him as soon as he gets home. Like, I can't keep that a secret. So, I'm glad we told people, just because it took us so long to conceive, and that baby was still celebrated, even though it was very short. Since it took us so long to conceive, I feel like we should celebrate. Whether it ended in a miscarriage or not, I'm glad we told people, and I'm glad, we got to celebrate that baby, regardless of what happened. And if there is a next pregnancy, I will do the same. Like, I will tell people and family as soon as I know, just because I am that person. Some people like to wait until they know they're past the miscarriage stage, but for me, this is my first miscarriage. I have 2 healthy, beautiful girls, so I wasn't anticipating having a miscarriage. So, I just went ahead and told people. And, some people, if they've had a miscarriage, then they'll wait and make sure the rainbow baby stays and nothing happens. But honestly, if I do get pregnant again, I probably won't wait, just because I want to tell people it's something to celebrate, and that's just how I look at it. So But I just wanted to give you guys the update and then tell you my experience, because I'm new to this, and it's, you know, I just feel like maybe some people can watch this and relate to me, or even tell me their stories and share their stories with me. So I'll let you guys know what they say about my blood work, and we'll just go from there, and we'll see what next month has to bring us. But that's just my story right now. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.